Welcome to It's a Good Friday. That's right. It's a Good Friday. And I want to say welcome to Conversations at the Crossroads. If you don't know by now, I'm your host, D. Foster III, and I am the CEO and president of Global Networks International. I want to say at this 12 noon hour, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you know the spill. Like, subscribe, share, and follow. And make sure that you come back this evening at 7 p.m. as we're going to do it in two parts. I think this conversation, and that's exactly what it is. It's going to be very interesting. I know traditionally all across the world, no hateration, that people are preaching the traditional seven last words, but I'm taking a kind of different spin. It's going to be a conversation. It's going to be therapy. But before we get started, I want to make sure that you go to our website to know all of our endeavors, www.wakeupglobalnetworks.com, www.wakeupglobalnetworks.com. There you can get the link to be with us live every second Sunday of the month, 12 noon to 1 for our awakening experience. And man, is it growing. We are studying. We are here to grow. People are logging on, and it's simple, right? No registration. Just go to the website and you can get a copy of the link at www.wakeupglobalnetworks.com. Did you enjoy our first landmark Life Alive Bible study last night? You said, what about that? You didn't know? Yes. Beginning last night, y'all, I am so excited. I'm so excited about the response. Every Thursday night, 7 p.m., right here on Wake Up Global TV, we're just doing a simple Bible study, Life Alive Bible study, where the word comes alive and breathes new life. And now we are talking about when and how to shift. We're in this global shift. We need to know how to prophetically. Well, I'm not going to get into all of that. Y'all got to go and make sure that you attend the Bible study and don't get thrown by the word Bible study. It's a reference point where we go in depth. No, it's not a Sunday school lesson. It's deeper than that. We go in depth to study the word. I'm not going to give a whole lot of announcements. If you want to know what we're doing, if you want to know what's on this platform, all I'm asking you to do today is to like, subscribe to the channel. We are new at this channel and we are trying to make it grow. Now, what I saw the statistics. Of course, Google gives you how you're doing, and it said you are smashing it. That's what it literally said, according to views. But our subscribers don't show that. So I know you're viewing, I know you're in the bushes. Come on out in the bushes. Subscribe to the channel. And of course, you know, when we upload brand new content, and we got plenty of content that we're uploading. So make sure that you are part of that. And I also want to encourage you to follow us on our IG page and that's Wake Up Global Media. Wake Up Global Media. Now we open ourselves up, spirit, here to be healed, to be free, to process, to eliminate, let go, and to embrace. Thank you for what we're crossing over into. I thank you that not one person will be unchanged as they view this. All right, did you like? Did you share? Did you put that link in the bio? Did you put it in your contact? Again, want to say it's a Good Friday. That's what I call it. It is a Good Friday. And I am fully aware about the 3 days and 3 night thing. So I'm not doing this based on, I believe this is, y'all know me better than that. I have so much content about that. Even if you want to go into Patreon, last year I did something called Resurrection Realities and Resurrection Fallacies. I'm woke, I'm abreast. Decided to do it today because some people are off and you can watch this live. And this is going to be conversation, right? And we'll be back for 7 p.m. right here on Wake Up Global. The way the Spirit gave me to get this across, I want you to relax. I don't plan on preaching. I plan on talking. And basically, I plan on letting you in on my therapeutic conversations as you have your own therapeutic conversation. Because prophetically, this, like our life alive, is birthed because I understand prophetically that we are in a global shift. There is a global collapse, yet a global birth taking place. It is very key. And this is what the Spirit has given me to take to the globe. Help prepare people spiritually, psychologically, mentally, and in every area how to successfully make this shift. For those of us that are alive, whether you are 8 or 800 or 80, there's never been a shift like this that we have experienced. That's why it's important to guard your nervous system, to stay grounded. And I'll talk more about that maybe tonight. But I want you to have your own conversation. Because as the title suggests, we are at a pivotal crossroads. Even as Jesus was on the road, on the cross. In other words, we meet Jesus at a deep reflection point. He, like us, was at a major intersection in his life. You're listening, you are at a major intersection of your life. In other words, he was on the cross, a divine crossroads. Now, let's talk about the word crossroads to give some sustenance to this conversation. We will continue tonight. Please like this. Please share this. And a crossroads indicates that although there are many, I want you to get this, paths set before me, and that you have already completed a path or an assignment. Here it is, that out of all of the crossroads, all of the roads before you, here it is. Only one of those roads are marked with your prophetic destiny. That's why this conversation is so important, because in this current world of chaos and confusion and upheaval and birth and rebirth, you and I, this country, have come to the end of one path, and now stands before us are many roads. It's the crossroads. But here's the key, and here's why this conversation is so important. Here's why therapeutic talk we're going to have to begin tonight is so important, because of all the roads, all the paths that we are presented, you will be presented with a lot of paths. Only one is marked with your and my prophetic destiny. Just one. And so at this point in Yeshua's life, he, like we, have the opportunity to come to grips with the reality. And that's where we are. Coming to grips with the reality that I have the opportunity of a lifetime, and that is the freedom to choose which road I'm going to take. That's a major responsibility, especially when so much is set before us. This is the place this choosing, where this is the place I am experiencing. And this is the place where we are having to work through, number one, mentally and spiritually. I'm working through two realities. When I get to this crossroad, an aura has been completed, y'all. An aura has finished. We are at, globe is at, the planet is at a crossroads. Which means what was no longer is. And what's set before me, I'm at a place where now, this is why this therapeutic talk is so important. I'm just laying the foundations. It's so important because I am having to work through, number one, spiritually and mentally. Watch this. Hope you're in the comments, in the chats. I'm experiencing two realities at the same time as Jesus was. When Jesus was on the cross, he's experiencing the same two realities that we are now experiencing. Number one, he's experiencing the fact that my earthly ministry and my ministry partners that I have become familiar with, that I launched ministry with, that I labored in ministry with, that I went fishing with, that I healed people with, is over. That can be traumatic. That for 3.5 years, the people that I gave my life with and to, because I'm at a crossroads, that path is over. It's done. It's kaput. So I'm working through that reality. The path that I have traveled has come to an end. The aura that I have been in, the season, if I want to use the word, but I don't want to use the word season because it's bigger than that. It's over. It's done. And now I'm working through another reality. Same time, I must choose the road and a path if I'm going forward that is so unfamiliar to me that I am not sure what. I mean, do y'all think this merits a therapeutic conversation when you really get down to it? I told you it's not going to be your traditional 7 last words. Share this, share this. So you're working through realities, and that can be mentally stressful. I'm letting go of what I've been so and who I've been so used and so familiar with. And now I must embrace a path that I am totally unfamiliar, totally unsure of how that thing is going to work out. I've got some people saying I should come down from this cross and prove I am who I am. That's mental agonization. Because now my ego could, I didn't say it was for Jesus. I'm not just preaching about, teaching, talking about Jesus. We're doing self-evaluation. My ego, you want me to prove who I am. And then the others are taunting me saying if I'm who I am, and I'm like, I got the power to call a whole legion of angels to get me out of here at the blink of an eye. See, all of these conflicting thoughts are going through my head. All of these different paths. And nothing says Jesus didn't, even though he didn't do it, did not consider those things. Because Hebrews says he was like us, tempted in all manner, yet didn't sin. So I'm sure he considered, they try and play in my face. I need to get down here and show them who I really am. No, that's not. Already showed them that is over. That road is over. I'm going now crossing over to be the intercessor, to be the mediator. I'm speaking to somebody's life this afternoon. So with so many roads ahead, but only one mark with destiny, this calls you and I for a few moments this afternoon and tonight to enter in and to register for self-talk therapy, so that before I go down my next destined road, I can work some things out, deal with the trauma. I can deal with the uncertain. I can deal with the abandonment. I can deal with all the things that we're going to deal with over the next few minutes. So this conversation is for the purpose of sorting out all of these conflictual concepts of me ending something that I'm very comfortable and familiar with, having to begin something that I am very uncomfortable and very unfamiliar with, and never been there and never done this. And people are trying to play in my face about who I am and trying to play who my powers and should I come down and should I just blow the whole daggone thing up. But into talk therapy. Now, did you share this yet? Did you share this yet? Let's see what conversations are necessary in life to get us this reflection point. Because all of these sayings that we say Jesus say are self-inner reflections, just verbalized. Because most of them, he wasn't even talking to. It was an inner self-inflection, reflection. And we have to have the second to get us past that reflection point of, I got all of this stuff going on in my mind. I got all of these options. I don't know what to do. I'm not going to be, and people are filled with anxiety. They filled with care. They filled with worry because we have not been taught in the Eastern or in this Western culture how to go in and reflect. We love noise. We love entertainment. We love being around people. We've not taught how to go in and reflect and work out. If we were, I'm convinced, if we were taught in this Western culture more of how to go in, people would need as much counseling and therapy. Because everything you need is in you. And everything outside of us doing its best to keep us from going within. There lies the answer. But this afternoon, we're going with, and we're going to do self-therapy like Jesus. Unless what's needed. The first conversation that's necessary so that I won't bring my past into my future. The first and probably one of the most essential conversations that needs to be had in order to get past this reflection point, in order to move down my new path, is forgiveness. Put in the chat, forgiveness. Luke 23:34, Jesus says, Father, forgive them. He wasn't even talking about them. He didn't say, I forgive you. He says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing. This is key. This is probably one of the most therapeutic conversations of self we have to have, working past all that has happened to us. Not in the style of being a victim. Why he didn't talk to them. He didn't say, look what y'all did, but I'm going to forgive you. It's victim. He says, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Forgiveness is what pushes us down the road. Why? It is the greatest act of sacrifice that one can do. Why? Actually, forgiveness, when we forgive, we put ourselves on the altar to erase the debts of no. That's powerful. Put ourselves on the altar. Forgiveness is self-sacrificing. That's why Jesus says, y'all did me wrong. I ain't gonna retaliate, but I'm gonna forgive you. That's victim posture. That's still revenge. When it's real forgiveness, down the road of destiny. You simply sacrifice yourself on the altar so that the debts of another can be erased. The reason I need the debts of those who hurt, who wrong me, and the reason that they need the debt of how I hurt and wrong them erased is because when I cross over to my destiny, I need to cross over to, hey, get this, a street or a road paved with golden opportunities and not bitterness. Okay? So I need to cross over to a road paved with gold, a street paved with golden opportunities, paved with pure motives, paved with a pure heart and forgiveness. The second tone and tenor of the conversation we must is held in traditionally what we say Jesus' second words were. This conversation is to those when he considers those who share in his suffering. Because remember, there were two malefactors or thieves hanging beside him. Now, I want to bring out something very clear. Traditionally, we have taught that he was talking and making this statement to both thieves. But in my rereading and rereading with another set of spiritual eyes, he was pretty much talking to one of the thieves, but that's a whole nother logical debate. The second, it was this therapeutic conversation. As I'm crossing over, I'm in this reflection point. It's held in Luke 23:43. Today, you shall be with me in paradise. Now, what is this? Let's make this relevant. When I'm crossing over, when I finish a path, and there's so many paths, I need clarity. Because this is what all of this is doing. This comes clearing paths, clearing out. Now I'm wrestling internally, and I'm pondering in myself. Out of all of the people that I was connected to over the last, I'm just giving Jesus 3.5 years or 10 years, whatever yours will be and mine will be. An era has ended. A new era has begun. Now I'm wrestling. People don't like when I use that word wrestle, but there's some things like it's deception to think we embrace everything. I'm pondering out of all the people I'm connected to, who will I take with me when I cross over to that path marked for destiny? That's a wrestle. Now, this conversation, ooh, because, oh my God, share this yet? And I'm going to help some people out of guilt and shame right at this point. This conversation is a wrestle because everybody that was nice to you and you to them, and everybody that helped you and you helped them is not designed, built, structured, ordained for your next level. And there's no maliciousness in that, y'all. There is no, you ain't designated to go with, no. There's some people I'm not designated to go to their next level. That's just the reality. We take that personally. You've heard the saying, some for a reason. You're connected to some people for a reason, some people for a season, and some people for life. Why do we take that so much? Because we're more connected to personalities than we are destiny. Put that in the chat. You can't be more connected to personality than you are destiny. So this is a conversation I wrestle. You must wrestle. You must ponder who is designated to go with me to the next level. Because hear this. This is good again. Put it in the chat. Do not confuse gratitude with destiny. Because someone has been great and you show gratitude. Gratitude does not always signify carry a person with you. Oh, I'm talking good. Season is done, or don't carry me with you. If my season is done with you, all I can do is do you harm. All you can do is do them harm. And Jesus was wrestling with this because people blessed him. People fed him, they clothed him. And now that he was moving on, there were some people that could not go because they could not comprehend what his new path was all about. Y'all know about that. You grow and you've been friends and, co-laborers or whatever with people for years, and then you grow, you begin to see things different, and tension arises. They don't understand where you are, or you may not understand where they are. That's just a signal. Ain't no love lost. We ain't got to fall out. You ain't got to have no social media battle. It's a part of life. And this is where Yeshua is. Now, why would Jesus make commitment to share this, to a thief? Out of all the people he was surrounded with, 3.5 years, he tells a thief, I'm putting you on notice today. Not that you're going to be there. I'm letting you know today that you are going to the other side with me. Today, I'm letting you know we'll be together in paradise. Now, It seemed like he would have told, you know, somebody more holier than that, you're going with. But Jesus is not into personality. He's not into status. This statement had nothing to do with him being a thief. But here is the decision point where Jesus says, you qualify to go to my next level, to walk on my next mark of destiny. Here's that at Luke 23. Watch what he says. Then he said, before Jesus told him, you'll be with me in paradise, or I'm telling you today, here's what the thief, not both, one. That's why I said I think that was not the both, it's the one. Because the other one did not qualify when you look at his grading statements. But one said, then he said, Jesus, watch this, he's qualifying to go into Jesus' people. Remember me when you come into your kingdom. Wow. Now what does this say? Only those qualified to go into your kingdom. Here it is. Come in, come in, come in, come in. Only those who qualify to go into your kingdom are those who know who you are. Spirit. That's why I said the other thief is not in this concept, because he mocked Jesus. If you are who you are, come down. He said, wait a minute, you don't know who this man is. He's done no wrong. We've done wrong. But then he makes a statement, one thief, not both. When you, and for years we've been, anyway, when you come into your kingdom, remember the place of humility and a place of knowing he has a kingdom. He must be. He understood that Jesus has a kingdom that is not of this world. That's why he defies the other thief. Come down and prove yourself. The kingdom is not of this world. You cannot afford, I cannot afford to take people with us to a crossroad, a new people who have no clue who we are spiritually. You can't take people who just want you for the fifth fish, loaves, multiplication of bread, blinded eyes open. All that's in the past. That's the ministry I'm leading. I'm going to a more priestly as the high priest. Hear this. See, it's time for you to enter into your high priestly. One more, and our time is up. We'll finish. This third therapeutic word, this third therapeutic word can be somewhat perplexing. I'm still doing inner, still at this perplexing, still about to cross over, still about to go to into a new aura with things that I've never experienced. I'm still wrestling with realities, leaving what I know very much in love, having to embrace an era, a time where I know nothing, unfamiliar, but I know I'm being called there. So this third conversation is key. And this can be perplexing because now, although I know who's qualified to go with me, I'm wrestling because I have to close this chapter right and do something bless those who can't come with me, but they've been a blessing. Ooh, that's an oxymoron. You can't come with me, but because you help me to this point, I'm obligated. St. John 19:25-27. So, there stood by the cross Jesus, his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Cleophas, and Mary Magdalene. Verse 26. When Jesus therefore saw his mother and the disciple, we believe this is John, and the disciple standing by whom he loved, watch this. He said unto the woman, not that you're going with me, not that you'll be with me in paradise. You're at the foot of this crossroad. You have gone with me as far as you can go. But because you've been with me every step of the way, woman, behold, look at. In other words, embrace your new son. Then said he to his disciples, behold thy mother. And from that hour, that disciple took her as her own, took her into his own home. This is powerful. And again, I could exhaust all of these and make these one lesson. So it's a lot I'm leaving out. But before we close for this afternoon, this is very powerful. Jesus is leaving his mother at the foot of the cross. He never promised her that he would see her like he did the woman Eve. Or, I'll see you soon, mother. Mary at the foot of the cross had gone the last mile of the way with her son. And it doesn't appear that she'll be crossing over into this next assignment. She has stuck with him, no doubt. Seeing him agonize, she followed. Reminds me of Harriet, my mother. She was supportive. She was a tad bit controlling. When people need something to drink, wait a minute, woman, my God. You understand the motherly thing. No doubt been there through all the ups and downs. So when you're closing a chapter of those who helped us get where we are, it is simply the honorable thing. Bless them. See, here's the thing about crossing over. Closing chapters are very important, and I don't have time to really get into that. But this is one of the things Jesus was doing. He says, Mama, I owe you. I won't. Here's what he was saying. I'm not going to leave you comfortless or sonless. My best friend, my beloved brother, I am committing you to his care. Behold, do you charge, John? Behold your mother. That's your mother. I'm going to leave you with a blessing. So Jesus is essentially saying, and this is the conversation we must have. Mother, although you're not going, I'm going to bless you with the love of another son that would provide the same care to you as I would. You can't go, but I will. And this is very vital conversation. because I know we cannot go to the next level by dishonoring those who have been a blessing to get us to. Wow. Father, thank you. Thank you for what you're saying, but more importantly, thank you for what you. Thank you that not one person is under. In Jesus' name. I'll be back tonight. Share this. Let people know it's Good Friday, and we're still having conversations at the crossroads. Don't forget, if you want to be a blessing to Wake Up Global Networks and so into what we're doing, that information is on the screen. I want to say thank you in advance. We need your support. So tonight, D. Foster 3 saying, remember our conversations that we're having at the crossroads. Until tonight, peace and God bless.